Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Bruno from rvingtv here. I know you rarely see me directly on camera, but today I thought I'd bring you a video that I know a number of you as consumers are thinking about. And you know, the big question out there these days, is it the right time to buy an RV? There's a lot happening in the economy. We've seen prices over the last few years, especially through the pandemic, have risen considerably. Should I buy an RV? Should I wait? What should I do? So I thought I would bring to you my knowledge and experience as having been a dealer who's operated for over 15 years, as well as someone who's still connected to the RV industry and has done some business consulting for a variety of people. So I thought I would take what I've seen in the industry, from what I've heard from industry insiders, bankers, financiers, and bring that to you in a video. So I've got some notes just to stay on track, but so what we want to do with this video, it's basically a state of the RV industry and is it time to buy? So we're going to discuss what's happening in the RV industry currently and over the last number of months to about the last year, almost year and a half, and answer the question of, is it really a good time to buy? So first of all, I'd like to thank anybody for returning. Thank you if you're a new viewer. Please, if you like this video, click the like button, hit the subscribe. It greatly helps us when we do our more regular walkthrough videos and product reviews to get access to those products and manufacturers, shows, etc. So thank you very much. Hit that like, subscribe, and if you hit the bell, you'll be notified of new videos. So let's start. What's happening in the RV industry? And you've probably seen a lot and heard a lot, but the RV industry for just over the last year, and it varies a bit, and I'm going to be talking both about Canada and the US. The US has started a little bit earlier. In Canada, it's been about the last year approximately. In the US, it's been a little longer. The industry has been in turmoil. We've been seeing, or I've been seeing, wholesale shipments. Now, these are shipments from the manufacturer who makes it to the dealer's lot has been off on a continuous basis between 50 to 60%. That's a massive amount of decrease in vehicles going to dealers. Why is that? Well, there was a shortage during the pandemic, and what happened was that dealers couldn't really get inventory because there were so many shortages. And what ended up happening was they were getting dribs and drabs of product here and there. And then the US economy, or shouldn't say the US economy, I apologize. In the US dealers started to notice a slowdown. And part of that has been because consumers are returning as the pandemic was gearing down, vaccines are out, whatever the reason is that you can say, people have started returning to more traditional ways of traveling. So if for years you like to get on a plane and fly and sit on a beach somewhere in the Bahamas or in Europe, that's a habit. Those consumers were going back to that. And the US opened up sooner than the Canadian market did. So there was a delay for Canada. So we've seen people returning to flying overseas. We've seen cruise ship bookings increasing dramatically, all-inclusive resorts. So that has caused a slowdown in demand for consumers on RV products, because during the pandemic, when you couldn't travel, people still wanted to get out of the house. They had more time during shutdowns. A number of companies a large majority of companies were letting people work remotely, and people found, well, they could pick up in an RV, take it to a campground somewhere, take it to a friend's cottage or lot, and they could work from their RV when they needed to, and then relax the rest of the time. So not only did we see shortages in the supply chain causing a lower number of units being produced by manufacturers, we saw a higher amount of demand than traditionally was there because people still wanted to get out and travel and could work from the units themselves. Now, with more people returning back to regular ways of traveling, that has lessened that demand. Supply chains have really worked their way out. Still little kinks, but not massive kinks. So it's pretty much worked its way out, bringing production levels back up. Well, what happened was there was so much pent-up demand, manufacturers continued to produce units, dealers were starving for units, so they took many units, anticipating that high demand level would continue, and that gamble didn't really pay off. It went the opposite way. So if you look around, there's a number of dealers out there with a lot of inventory. And I guess I should mention one other thing. Another part of the decrease in demand is that we've seen pickup truck prices increase dramatically. We've seen that there's still a shortage of computer chips, so there's not as many available out there. We've seen gas prices surge since the end of the pandemic and have stayed high. We've also now seen interest rates rise, which is now putting strains, and this will be more of a Canadian effect than on the US side, but there will be some of that there. With higher housing prices and then higher interest rate, mortgage renewals, rates have gone up, mortgage payments for the average consumer have risen. Then you couple in the higher grocery prices, and pretty much everything across the board has dramatically gone up since the end of the pandemic. That has squeezed the disposable income for consumers and reduced the demand in the RV marketplace. We're also seeing this in other markets in the US, not as much in Canada right now. We're seeing car prices coming down dramatically because of these factors. So, there's a number of dealers that have a lot of inventory. Is it a good time to buy? Again, is the big question if you're thinking about buying an RV or upgrading. And I'm going to answer that in a moment, but I'm going to point out some things. I'll be blunt. I think it's a good time to buy. What you need to be aware of is now that the supply chain kinks have pretty much worked their way through, I think we'll see some pricing come down a little bit because shipping costs have come down. We're seeing, as production of those parts to make RVs has stabilized, those costs will come down a little bit, and manufacturers will inevitably, they should be passing that back to consumers. But, are we talking 20, 30, 40% decrease? No. You might be talking 5 or 10% increase. Well, on most units, that's maybe a couple of $1,000s. Don't get me wrong, it's a couple of $1,000s. You work hard for your money. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't necessarily offset buying a unit today. The reason I say that is if you look around, there's a number of dealers with lots of inventory. And I hope somebody's laughing because I talk with my hands. I'm Italian background, so we talk with our hands. Just in case you hadn't caught that yet. There's a number of dealers out there in Canada and the US. If you look, they have tons of 2022 models. And we're in the 2023 model year, and 2024 coming up shortly at the time that we film this. Now, we're filming this in July of 2023, just as a time segment for those of you watching the video down the road in the future. So they have lots of 2022s that have been costing them interest costs, etc., maintenance costs, keeping on the lot. And dealers want those gone because it costs them a lot of money to keep those units there. So what we've been seeing is, dealers are having regular sales, inventory clear out, and it's primarily focused on those 2022s. So you may think, well, I should wait and get a 2024, especially if they're going to go down maybe 1,000 or two, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, and I get a brand new 2024. I don't think that's where you're going to find your value. If you want the newest, latest, yeah, get the 2024. I'm going to bet it's not very different from the 2023 or the 2022. The 2022s will be the ones that'll have the most value for you because dealers that were making a higher profit have cut those profits way down to move the inventory because it hasn't been moving. There's, even if you look closely out there, there have been dealers selling at cost or below cost to move the inventory because they eventually want to move the little bit of 2023s they ordered, because a lot of them cut their 2023 orders way back, hence the 50 to 60% decrease in shipments. And they're going to want to order some 2024s, especially if there's price adjustments, but they're not going to do it until they've reduced their inventories that are on the ground. And that's incentivizing them. So if you're a buyer, a serious buyer, now is a great time to buy. You may even find, as I mentioned, some dealers willing to sell at cost or even below cost. Now, part of the trick of that is working with a good dealer and maybe even expressing to them that for the right deal, you'd be interested in buying a warranty, an extended warranty, because they'll have factory warranty, but an extended warranty, that maybe you want to buy paint sealant or some of these add-ons, or buy a parts package from them out of their parts store, because these are items where they make a little more profit, especially extended warranties, paint sealants. And this is incentivizing a dealer that's selling close to cost, at cost, or might be willing to go below cost because they can make up a little bit of the money they're losing in some of those extras. You as a consumer is picking up some valuable items like extended warranties. I'm a firm believer they're great because you have a house that rolls down the road. Things go wrong over time. They're hand built. Those warranties can save you really big dollars if you have a big appliance, like an air conditioner or a hot water heater go on you. So they're valuable to you as a consumer. They're valuable to the dealer because of that extra profit they make on that extended warranty. And they may use it to get to break even, which means you may have just bought that trailer below cost. The price decreases that'll come from the manufacturers won't equal those deep, deep discounts that you could negotiate today. Some dealers may not like me saying this, but it's the truth about the industry. And when they have that much inventory that is eating up a lot of their capital, a lot of their cash, we're seeing signs, I'm seeing signs, and I'm hearing out there that some dealers are getting very aggressive in the pricing to move that inventory, even if it's costing them some money as a loss. So that is good for you as a consumer. So what should you look for? You should look for a dealer that's been running regular sales, that has lots of 2022 inventory on the ground because they're going to be incentivized to get rid of it. But look for a dealer that owns their property. Don't be shy as a consumer to ask your salesman, is the property being leased? Is it owned by the dealership? Usually it'll be owned by a holding company that is owned by the owners of the dealership. So you might get one of those convoluted answers. But if they're renting, they're leasing the property, be a little more cautious. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing, it just means they have less tie to your local area. So you want to buy from a good dealer, owns their property, is financially sound, and most importantly, has a good service reputation. Not only a sales reputation, a good service reputation. Because if you need a tweak, if there's a warranty recall, you need a warranty adjustment, you can go back to your local dealer because you are their customer and they will service you. I'm a big proponent of buy locally. You don't want to be driving hours on end to get service because some items in your RV that are covered by warranty are paid by the dealer, not by the manufacturer. So your local dealer that you bought locally from wants to keep you happy because you live in the area. Your friends who are going to buy from him or her live in the area. Versus buying an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours away or out of state or out of province to save a bit of money. There's no incentive for that additional service. So buy from a good dealership, a servicing dealer, good reputation, owns their property. If you miss those, you're likely to buy from a non-servicing dealer or a dealer that doesn't really care that you live locally and just wants to move product, and you may not have as happy of an experience. So based on the state of the industry right now, the state of the economy, where interest rates are, overall prices, I personally think it's a great time to buy if you were buying. Little harder if you're trading and trading up because that adds to a dealer's inventory, but they would like your trade that's at a much lower price point than the newer inventory that's sitting out there. That can be a big advantage to them. Lots of choice out there because there's lots of inventory, but as a consumer, you've got to be okay that you're buying a 2022 or maybe a 2023 model as 2024s are coming out. Again, big enough discount, it doesn't make a difference to you as a consumer. You've already saved the money up front. You may be buying it, as I said, wholesale, below cost. Over the next few years, you'll be way ahead of the game. You'll be able to camp this summer. You'll be able to use your unit and enjoy it. And if you shop wisely and right, great opportunity out there to buy units. And I can tell you that from what I have seen, dealers I've spoken to, again, bankers I've spoken to, and what I've seen happening at auctions, etc. There is an advantage for you, the consumer. Now, this is my personal opinion. Nobody knows what will happen over the long run with interest rates, the economy, etc. So, do your homework, be well advised, but I think it's a good time to buy now if you shop smartly and find those deals out there. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for joining me in my RV while we relax a little bit and I bring this video to you. If you like the video, click the like button, share it with your friends. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not. We'd appreciate that. That'll give us access to more units and products that we can bring you some great reviews out there. Check back soon. We'll have more videos. We're going to do maybe 1 or 2 mod videos on this unit here as well for you to see, to give you some ideas of what you can do. Anyways, Bruno from rvingtv. Make sure you live life to the fullest each and every day. I try to. We'll see you soon.